Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have just a little bit of downtime. I'm not really sure when the boys are going to wake up. So I just wanted to film my life discussion video. I was going to get my husband on here, but he doesn't get off work for another hour and a half. And I feel like he's just going to be tired and not really in the mood to vlog when he gets here. So I'm just going to vlog without him this time, but next time for sure I'm going to get him in the video. But I just wanted to talk about moms for a second. I'm going to move my veggie straws out of the way. I just want to talk about moms for a second, and specifically new moms. I recently had a new mom reach out to me, and I was really shocked because I don't really have people reach out to me for advice, but this particular person did. And she knows that, I'm not a new mom. And she just had questions about, like, is this a normal feeling? Like, is what's going on with me normal? And I'll kind of get into that more in detail. I want to talk about new moms and what changes when you become a mother. Some of them are really obvious, like your body changes, obviously your routine changes. You can't go out every weekend anymore, which some moms do that, but we're not going to get into that. You can't go out all the time and be gone all the time. You can't just sleep when you want, eat when you want, go to the bathroom when you want. All of that, you have to tweak your schedule to, your schedule has to work around that child. You can't make the child work around your schedule because that's just not how it works when you have a baby. But in particular, what she was wanting to know about is something that is a little taboo for women. Women don't really like to talk about this, but it's your actual mental state that changes. And that's what they don't tell you about that after you have a baby. They tell you the obvious things. They don't tell you that you might feel overwhelmed or sad or anxious or just resentful even. They don't talk about that. And this particular mom was just saying that she feels a little out of sorts and overwhelmed, and she's just trying to be the best that she can be. And I told her, those feelings are normal, especially since our bodies, like, internally we go through so many changes, not just like the outward appearance, but inside we go through so many changes. We have such a huge fluctuation of hormones that after that baby has come out, after we've had the baby, it can take up to like 18 months or even pushing 2 years for those hormones to completely go back to normal. And I know personally from speaking to other moms that it took even longer for some of them for those hormones to, go back. And maybe some women never are completely, mentally the same after they have a child. So, I know for me, after I had my oldest, I had a lot of negative feelings. I was going through a really tough situation with his dad, and there was just lots of drama with everyone around me, and it was just a very stressful time, especially being a new mom. My son was only a couple weeks old when all of this was going on, and so I had just had a baby. My hormones were all over the place, and I couldn't even explain my feelings. And not only was, I down or just feeling overwhelmed, I got very anxious all the time. I would go to pick him up, and I would literally walk so slow and so careful because I didn't want to drop him. Or I would hear him just fuss a little bit in his sleep at night, and I would instantly sit up out of bed and try to go over to him. And by the time I even got over to the crib, he would already be falling back asleep. But just that anxiousness, I could never really relax the first couple weeks. Actually, the first couple months he was born, I could never really relax. I was always on edge and always worried about him getting hurt or something happening to him. And people would say, oh, Elena, he's going to be fine. It's okay. But in that moment, I didn't think it was okay. And so just with all of that going on, it really does take a toll on you. It's your mental state can actually affect everything else. I started staying up all night. Even if he would sleep, I would be up laying in bed waiting for him to cry. Or I would just, throughout the day, I would just be so anxious and paranoid about the smallest of things, just anything. And it's not a good feeling, but that's not to say that it's not normal. A lot of moms get the anxiety, or a lot of moms get, depression, postpartum depression to be more specific. And even though I never went to a doctor after I had Nathan or talked to anyone, I'm pretty certain that I went through a little bit of postpartum after I had him, just because of all the things that were going on and how vividly I remember that I felt. And at the time, none of my friends had babies. Most of my friends that I know of had babies after I had my son. I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. And like I said, for women, it seems very taboo to talk about, your mental state after you have a baby. So I just didn't reach out because I figured I was fine. And I was like, oh, I'll get through it, whatever. What I should have done, I should have reached out to someone. I should have either talked to my doctor or even just got up the courage to talk to my friends about it. Even though they didn't have kids at the time, I could have just had someone listen to me, and maybe just talking would have helped to some degree. But instead, I internalized that and I bottled that up. And that is the absolute wrong thing to do when you're feeling that kind of way, especially after you have a child. You should reach out to someone and you should just say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. What can I do to help myself cope with this fluctuation that I'm having? What can I do to better control these feelings now that I'm, a mother? And that was a big thing for me, was the postpartum with my son. I noticed with him, I bounced back pretty quickly. My body went back to the way it was, which is, I didn't think it was going to, just because I know my body shape, I know my body type. And I've always been overweight my whole life, from the time I was a baby till my adult life. I've always been overweight. And so I was really worried that I just wasn't going to bounce back, or it was going to take me forever. And I didn't. My weight went back pretty fast. In fact, I was at my skinniest about a year after I had Nathan. I was feeling really good about myself, all of that. Something I noticed, though, with my twins, my body didn't do that. My body did not go back. They are almost 15 months and my body still has not gone back, and it never will go back. I had a C-section with them. I have some loose skin now that I know that I will never be able to get rid of that. I mean, only surgery can get rid of that. And I'm never going to go that route. My body is what it is now. But I think that too, on top of your mental state, your body really does affect you. And that is one of the things that people tell you that changes your body. But when your body changes, that can reflect on your mental state. That can weigh on your mind. Oh, I look ugly. Oh, no one's going to want me anymore. Those things can go through your head. Honestly, after I had the twins, for the first couple weeks, I'm like, okay, I just had 2 babies. This is normal. Well, about 5-6 months after I had them, I had lost some weight, but I noticed it was much harder for me to lose weight after I had Ezra and Elijah than when I had Nathan. With Nathan, it's I wasn't really watching what I was eating. I was just doing whatever, and the weight was just coming off. With them, and I still struggle. I'm still very overweight. I still weigh a lot more than I did before I got pregnant with them. It's just so much harder for me to lose weight now. And I really did think at one point, my boyfriend's not going to want me anymore because he's going to see how much my body has changed. And he would tell me all the time that I looked fine. But that thought in my head of what I was seeing in the mirror, like looking in the mirror and how disgusted I was, that thought continued to run through my mind. And it just made me more and more resentful. I'm like, oh, what did these kids do to me? And that's not a good feeling, but it is a normal feeling. Resentment can happen after you have a baby. And even though I didn't really experience much of the resentment with my first pregnancy, I definitely experienced it with my second pregnancy. But I know for a lot of new moms, they can have resentment to either their child or just resentment within themselves, not necessarily towards the child. But I know I was very resentful. And I'm like, man, why did I have to have twins? Why me? I was already overweight. Why? Now my body is even more, off track than what it was before. Just, I would think about those things. I'm like, I didn't need to have twins. Ugh, now I'm even fatter than I was, and it's going to be so hard to lose the weight. And I actually thought about those things before I even had them. When I found out there was 2, one of the very first thoughts in my head was, great, I'm going to get huge. And I think that's normal. Even if you're not having twins and it's your first baby, you find out you're pregnant. That's usually one of the first things you think about. Like, one, either you're happy about it, or you're nervous, or you're sad, or you're angry about it. That's always the initial thought. But then all of the thoughts start rolling in, and that's usually one of the first ones is, man, my body's gonna change. I'm gonna gain weight. And you're supposed to gain weight when you get pregnant. You want to put on pounds to help that baby grow. But for me, I didn't want to. I'm like, I don't want to gain any weight. And just that's another thing that can really affect your mental state. It kind of, everything that happens outwardly can then reflect on you internally too. So what I want to say to specifically new moms is what you're feeling or how you felt in that time after you had your baby it is normal to feel that way. Is it okay to feel that way? No, and that is what the difference is. People hear that, or people are told that, oh, well, we think you have this, or, oh, we think baby blues, postpartum, oh, are you feeling resentment towards your child? Instantly, people kind of they back away, they shy away, they close themselves off, and they start to think that something's wrong with them. And that's what I'm saying. It is normal. It happens to more women than you would think, but that doesn't mean that it's a good thing. It's not good and it's not okay. But what is good is when a mom sees this, feels these things, and goes and gets help for it. And I did make a video recently about mental health, and this kind of ties into it, but I'm also going more in depth with your body and how that changes and all that. But that's the biggest thing for new moms, is the feeling that, it's all weighing on them and they're just not happy with their bodies. Or a lot of new moms get in this I don't want to mess up thing. Let me tell you, I have 3 little boys, and I probably mess up every other day or twice a day. You're going to mess up. You're going to have what they call those mom fails. You're going to have that. That's going to happen. You're going to have days where house is a mess, kids are screaming, you're stressed, haven't had your coffee yet, you've been holding it to go to the bathroom for 2 hours, you haven't showered. You're going to have days like that. And that's not to say that you're not, being a good mom, and that's not to say that you're failing miserably at life, because you're not. Those things are normal. Like, I hate when people tell other people, well, that's not normal, or, oh, really? There's so many judgmental people in this world, and I want to be that voice that says, hey, this is normal. These things do happen. Don't let people tell you that they live in this perfect little world and they're like the superstar mom, because I guarantee you they have bad days too. They have rough days too. We all go through it. We all live it. We all experience it. And again, back to those feelings, those emotions you're having, it is normal, and it's best for you to seek help when those feelings become so overwhelming that it starts to affect how you are towards your child, how you are towards people around you, your partner, your friends, family, all of that. It is so, so important to seek help when you're feeling a way that is troublesome and not okay. But again, it is normal. A lot of women go through those feelings, and it's just best to seek help. For all of my new moms, or just moms of multiples like myself, you are strong, you're fantastic, you're brilliant beyond measure. You're and I want to say this again, you're strong. Women are strong, especially mothers, to put another life before your own and still be able to get stuff done in the day. It's amazing to me. And even if you didn't get everything done one day, or you didn't finish cleaning, or you didn't make dinner, you are still taking care of another life besides yourself. You're putting a tiny, helpless life before your own, and I think that is absolutely fantastic. So, for anyone that watches this video, if you are a mom of several kids, or if you're a new mom and this video helped you, then that's really what my goal is, to make this video so that when women see this, they feel empowered and they know that they're not alone, and that the demons they're fighting, within themselves, they're demons that other women are fighting too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely did. And now that I think about it, this is honestly a video that I probably wouldn't have filmed with my husband, just because we have different perspectives, and I feel like this is more of a woman-to-woman, mom-to-mom kind of discussion. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the little notification button down below to get all of my future video updates. And I'll see you guys next time.